Can you grow tomatoes like this even if you don't have a green thumb? Yes. So we use a GreenStalk planter here to plant some of these tomatoes around our pool, our patio down there. These GreenStalk planters were made here in the USA, in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we ordered a couple of them offline. And here we are putting them together. Now, we did order the base that goes to them and the little coasters there, as you'll see later, that we can roll around. But we will give you all guys an idea of how easy these things go together and what kind of soil mix we use. So we used a sterile potting mix. We used the, I'll see what name brand, Pro Mix is the one we used here. But we also put in some good compost, as you can see we're mixing in there. And then I'm putting some complete organic, which is a pelletized chicken manure. And we also will add some worm castings to this right here. And the reason for all this is we don't want to use regular soil, because regular soil is going to be too compact, it's going to be too heavy, it's just not going to work well. We want to use these sterile pot mixes, but yet we got to bring them alive. And we do that by adding worm castings, as we're doing right here, the organic fertilizer, and the compost. We bring the microbes alive, get that soil recharged there. And this is an ideal pot mix for these GreenStalk planters. So we put them up here. You can see I'm putting it there on the base there. And that base it's cost a little bit more, but I can promise you it's worth it because you get to move them around. So here I am putting the first one on there. Of course, I didn't pay attention like I should. These things snap in real easy, but there's a little secret way you get them in there. And I was struggling here. And of course, Mama Hoss had to come to the rescue and help me out here. See the little tabs, if you can see them underneath there, these things just pop right together once you get it figured out. We got this first one on there and then the rest of them went right on. Now the good thing about these GreenStalks is you see that little piece I'm putting on there? That is so that you can water from the top and the water goes all the way down and waters each one of these cells on the GreenStalk. You just keep stacking them up. And the way this thing was designed, it was designed so it was real easy. Anybody could grow vegetables in it. Stack them up, and then there at the very top, you'll see we put the little water reservoir on there. That's what you water the whole thing with. You just pour water in the top. So here we are doing the second one, just the same thing. Rinse and repeat. Good potting soil, compost, chicken manure, organic fertilizer, mix them up, and then we stack them all up. Now it's time to roll them up there to where we're going to keep them at. And man, ain't that easy right there, just rolling them. Well worth the money. So what do you plant in the GreenStalk? Well, it's summertime here in South Georgia, and these things are ideal for growing leafy greens, but we really struggle in the summertime because these leafy greens get bitter and they scorch with the heat. They're ideal for herbs, but what about tomatoes?
Little Birdie Series.
Yep. So we've got some here I want to show you. And this is what we call the Little Birdie Series, and this makes a dwarf plant. And we have 3 different colors. I've got the Yellow Canary right here. We have the Red Robin, and I have a Rosy Finch. Just a little bit more rosy color than this one. I don't have one to show you. But these things right here are what we call big grape tomatoes. They're pretty good size here. What's ideal about these things is they make on a very compact plant. So it's going to be ideal for us to plant our GreenStalk, and these tomatoes here, which is going to load up. This is going to give us a lot, I mean a lot of tomatoes.
The plant actually doesn't get very much bigger than this.
It doesn't, but it just loads up.
But then it'll just like hang down the pods of grapes.
Now there's a few of these dwarf tomatoes on the market area, but this one right here, these Little Birdie Series, these 3 that I mentioned to you there, are wonderful. They're good, disease resistant, they handle the heat pretty good, and they do well for us here in the South.
You should plant one color around the top layer and then just alternate them.
Yeah, so we can have a yellow, a red, and kind of a rosy red color. Yeah, that sounds good. So the first one we're going to plant is Red Robin, which is the deep red color here. And we're just going to take it. Now I grew these plants in the greenhouse, and they are rooted in really well there. So we're just going to come in here, dig a little hole, put them in there. It's just pretty dead gum easy.
And you want to talk about the soil that we put in here?
Yeah, so we got everything in here we should need. So we incorporated some complete organic in there that we mixed in. We also mixed in some compost. So we got everything in there to give these plants a head start. Now later on, we kind of watch the plants.
Fish. I mean, not fish. My worm castings.
Yeah, we had some worm castings. Worm castings, complete organic, and compost with good potting soil is what we did there. All right, that's the first layer there.
Yeah, so let's start on the yellow. It's a little dry too.
Now normally with tomatoes you want to plant them kind of deep, but with these dwarf types it really doesn't matter much because they're not going to grow up, they're going to stay kind of small, so we'll plant these pretty much at soil level right there.
All right, let's got the yellow.
Now it's time for Rosy Finch. Yeah, these are kind of dry. They should have been planted before now, but you know how time gets away from you.
So we've looked at these GreenStalks, or I have, for a couple of years, and finally broke down and try one. We have a lot of customers that call us and say, what can we plant in our GreenStalk? So we thought we'd get one so we can give good advice on what works and what doesn't work.
All right, so let's start back with the red robin again.
Now I think let's do yellow.
So we're going to do yellow and yellow?
So we've got red, right. Yellow, pink. Let's do yellow again.
Okay, sounds good. So, you know, these things are they're easy to put together. And they don't have a lot can go wrong with them. Now, I will tell you this right here. I was kind of disappointed with customer support on these things. I emailed the company a few times and I never did get a response. That being said, I really didn't have no problems. I was just going to ask them a couple questions. But, yeah, you know, we pride ourselves on good customer support. And I think everybody should have good customer support. Answer the emails and answer the phone call. I didn't get any response from these people here, so I was a little disappointed with that. That being said, there's not a whole lot can go wrong with this, and there's not a whole lot that they need to support on it. But it would have been nice if they would have communicated with me.
And we're not affiliated with them whatsoever.
Well, what you planting on bottom?
Red. Robin.
Extra ones there in case one of them dies so we can replace. But look there, isn't that beautiful? This thing's going to load up, and I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away by how many tomatoes can be harvested off this one container right here. And what's neat about it is we got the fertilizer already in the soil, so we're probably not going to have to feed them very much. We got the water at the top. We'll fill this water up right here. It will water all the plants. Easy peasy, works good for people that don't have much space to grow, and we're going to have tomatoes galore.
Now we did water this in before we planted, and here I'm just going to top it off with, fill the basin full of water and let it run down.